We will take a glimpse at my road ahead in becoming a teacher by looking at my personal teaching philosophies. In this assignment, I will cover views on teaching and learning, educational experience, goals for students, and growth plan for myself. By the end, you will be able to conclude what my teaching philosophy is and where it came from in my educational experience. I am very eager and excited, but I know I have a long way in reaching my goal in becoming a great teacher. My view on teaching and learning is coming up with the best hands-on activities to help students better understand the topic of the classroom curriculum. For me, growing up and even today, hands-on learning is very beneficial when learning new things. Another view would be to seek out every child's educational weakness and focus on providing tools for the child to work on strengthening the identified areas. Creating a learning environment where the child feels safe is a must because that leads to making the child more comfortable to open up and learn. Remembering that in the classroom there will be a lot of diversity depending on the school's location, but regardless of location, we have to make sure every child feels comfortable and safe. By having the child comfortable, they will be open to learn more alone and with others, which will be essential during peer assessment. Peer assessment is a process where students assess their peers or they are assessed by their peers on something. At different periods in our history, different philosophies have determined our thinking about teaching and learning and about the manner in which the education should proceed. The different philosophies are essentialism, perennialism, progressivism, social reconstructionism, critical theory, and existentialism. Out of all the educational philosophies, I find myself to be more aligned with the progressivism philosophy. With progressivism, my focus of study is integration of study with real life experiences through active learning, problem solving, and experimentation. For the best outcome, it is up to the teacher to be creative and well prepared for the activities to match the curriculum, but the student has an important role too. In Dwayne's view, students should be active participants in their own learning. They learn by doing, and their interests must be a driving force behind curriculum and classroom experiences. As a child in school, education was very hard for me. I was the type of child that was obedient in class and made passing grades. You never heard a word from me. I was the quiet child in class. Like so many other students in the past, because I was a good student and turned in all my homework, I masked the fact that there were times where nothing made sense to me. When it came to certain topics in the curriculum, I didn't understand what the class was talking about. I also had a hard time reading. That was one of the things that teachers weren't aware of until I was tested by the school. Even after the weakness was brought to light, help still wasn't offered. I just was sent to the next grade and to start the cycle all over. Once they knew about my reading, they just made sure not to call on me to read out loud during class. I was the child that did what I had to do at the best of my ability to pass the class. I was too shy and embarrassed to ask for help, and even though teachers knew, they never offered. If I had a teacher that would take their time to help by making topics more relevant in everyday life and developing hands-on activities to help me um, give me experiences to learn from, I think my childhood educational experience would not have been so difficult. The goal I would have for my students is to strive for above average with everything that they do. Performance approach goals represent the goal of demonstrating superior competence and gaining positive judgments from others, while performance avoidance goals are characterized as more ego defense, ensuring the individual does not demonstrate incompetence or provoke negative judgments from others. To prevent performance avoidance, another goal would be to have each child acknowledge an educational weakness that may have um, that may have, that they may have, and create steps that would assist them to start working on them. I would expect my students to do their best and get in the habit of continuing to research and learn outside the school environment. As a result of my class, I want students to be able to know how to research topics and references given from class when it comes to problem solving. When it comes to critical thinking, my students would use their skills to learn to think from many angles on the subject in discussion. Once again, after developing the habit of research and continued learning outside the school environment, the students' content knowledge will be proven after achieving positive scores during class assessments. With the diversity I will have in each student, it is detrimental that I know the diversity in learning styles too. Being able to distinguish that a child can learn on their own where cognitive learning occurs, or if the child learns better in a social environment where social cognitive learning takes place. The attributes of a good teacher is being knowledgeable, alive, articulate, innovative, patient, committed, and being able to find the joy in teaching. Out of the attributes, the goals I have for myself is to become more educated, a better communicator, creative teacher, and to stay committed to help better develop my future students. I will attain my goals by staying relevant in my field of study and continuing school. I will be a better communicator by becoming more comfortable in my role as a teacher in time and experience. Finding a mentor and receiving support from other teachers would also help along the way. I have learned that we don't just communicate with students, but you have to be able to communicate with their parents, other teachers, and staff. With just observing a few teachers or being a teacher's aide for a while will give me the experience needed to be a better communicator in the future. To develop on my creative skills, volunteering at schools, child care centers, and doing online research would help me reach my goal in being a more creative instructor to the students. The way for me to attain my last goal, which is staying committed to the students, is by remembering my past and how no child should go through school the way I did. Preventing children from having a difficult time in school and and their future after school is why I wanted to become a teacher in the first place. After looking at my views on teaching and learning, you should have a better understanding of my teaching philosophy at this point. With continuing my education and working on my goals, I will have nothing but success in my future. Giving children what I didn't have growing up is what will give me the drive to stay focused during tough times on this road ahead in becoming a teacher and lifelong learner.